Greetings, Commander สวัสดีครับผู้บัญชาการทุกท่าน Welcome to another video of
Goddess of Victory, Nikke.
In this video, I will be focusing on the comparison between 2B and Scarlet, and I'll be using footage from a whale account from my dear friend Nikke. This is it. So we have here a 2B, a max core with a attraction, a bond of 33 all overloaded items, and these are her overload substats. Her skill is 9, 10, 9, and I'll be using a cube of a bastion level 8. As you can see, this is quite maxed out 2B, and in comparison we'll be using a Scarlet, a 2 limit break with bond 30 all overload gears, and these are the overload substats as you can see. And for the skill it's gonna be 10, 7, and 7, also using a level 8 bastion cube. So let us go and start with this damage comparison. In this first footage we'll be using pure attack, just using 2B's and Scarlet's normal attack with no bursts at all. As you can see that 2B's attack is not that impressive, but please don't forget that most of her damage also comes from maxing out the first skill's max HP stacks. So let's go with the second test. In this second test we'll be using both burst skills on auto. But there's a one thing that we have to take into consider is that in the shooting range, the time limit is only 1 minute and a half. While most boss stages, let's say for Union Raid and Solo Raids, last 3 minutes. As you can see here, when we do auto burst, her damage is almost on par with Scarlet. Let's go to another test. In this test, I use Senti to generate as much burst generation as fast as possible in order to minimize the downtime of not being in burst, and also try to get 2B to her max stacks as soon as possible. It takes around, let's say, almost exactly 1 minute for 2B to get to her max stacks for her skill 1 by using 3 burst skills. It almost takes a total of 1 minute, so it's not gonna be a full test on how she does compared to the total stage battle with Scarlet. As you can see, the final damage is not that impressive. I mean, 2B damage hardly budged from our last test, but Scarlet's damage went way higher. It could just be because of her burst, but the result is not really satisfactory. Let's go to the next test. In this test, I'll be using the typical bunnies team. So, with litter as well, and we'll be using somewhat auto burst of Scarlet and 2B. The final result shows that 2B is around, like, let's say 80% of the damage capacity of Scarlet. In this last test, I'll be using Senti to generate as much burst as possible, and without bunnies, by just using only 2B and Scarlet's burst, and add Modernia just as a, because why not? Let's see the results. So the final results show that 2B's potential is still around about 70% of what Scarlet could do. But also keep in mind that this is just from the shooting range, where the time limit is 1.5 minutes. So for the final verdict, in my opinion, 2B is definitely worth the pull. You can definitely get her max core way easier than Scarlet. And also she would be good for boss fights where the battle would last up to 3 minutes, because that's where she shines the most, after the 1 minute mark where you get the max stack of her skill 1. And also that she's a way safer bet in using for boss battle when you don't have bunnies, because her HP will be so high, unlike Scarlet where she would just constantly harming herself until she runs down all the way to 1% max 1% HP. So if you haven't pulled for her yet, I suggest you do now. I'll see you in the next video, Commander.